Right, so on the boat, small boat, so cover on there just to keep the worst of it out of the back here. Well, just keeping a load of took whilst I'm working. Excuse me. All this has got to be covered. So basically, I've done the helm. That was all replaced because that was full of holes like a Swiss cheese. Starting to video everything really. So I've done all that. This again was covered in this stuff, and it had some sort of insulation in there, and it looked horrible all around there. And I don't like the look of that, so that had to go. We had a load of holes here. I'm assuming it must have been some previous door hinges or something. I don't know what they were, but there was holes all over the place there, so I had to fill all those up. Still got a couple of holes down here to do, but I'll worry about that at a later date once I finish the inside, because that's what I'm dealing with still at the moment. So we've done all the underside of the deck. We've reinstalled the bulkhead in the front, and the whole front inside the bow is all glassed out now, and the inside at the top is all cored. So when I put all cleats and bits and pieces on the top, I've got something to screw into. You know, plenty of strength there. It hasn't got to be like, you know, have little plates of plywood stuck underneath it everywhere, like, you know, so every time I want to bolt something in. So that is basically starting to rot now, so it's all delaminating and it's gone horrible, but I'm keeping that just for a template on the shape. I was looking at cutting it out of this plastic that someone's put in, if I can, to make the shape, and then fiberglass in it. So I'll cut that out onto there, so I've got the shape, fiberglass it, and I can make a complete panel to go in there out of glass, tucking it off of this lip because I can't stand the look at that. That's horrible. So I want to roll that round so that it comes straight down to the bottom of the floor there, or the deck. Tab that into the bottom down here, and then I can cut cubby holes into that. And so I want some little steps or something, so when you're getting in and out, you've got something to put your feet on, maybe some sort of fold out step that you can climb up there to get out. So that's the plans for out here. I want to get rid of this screen because it's, again, horrible. Don't like it. It's got dangly, horrible, sharp, razor sharp edges on there that will slice your flaming arms open. It's, yeah, wobbly, loose, falling apart, looks horrible, can't stand it. So anyway, what I wanted to do is also, when I'm going out, if the weather's like it is today, you know, and you've got a little bit of rain or anything like that, I want a canopy over my head. So I want to build like a little little deck going over my head here, little canopy top. So I'll raise the screen up slightly, because at the moment, I mean, it's, you know, my eye line is over the top of it, so it's doing nothing for me at all. So I want to bring that up slightly, little top coming over, keep the rain off your head. Yeah, so that's more fiberglassy, more work, lots to do. So, but I'm going to get all this done first. So that's the plans for out here anyway. And it's a lot of sanding, prepping, painting, all the rest of it. But, you know, it's just little bits and pieces I'm not happy with. I mean, look, we've got no fiberglass over a bit of wood there. You know, that's just going to go rotten. It's all a bit janky, you know, old boat. So that all needs doing, but that's easy. That's an easy fix. At the moment, the wood's pretty solid. I can put a bit of glass in there, cover that up, fill these holes up. I need some solid wood in there so I can screw me controls to. They're all hanging down there, wrapped up in a bag. So the controls will mount up here. So I'll make a couple of blocks up to go in here so that I can screw it where I want it. You know, but again, this will all be covered coming down there. That's the plan. I want to cut out the wheel well, change the shape of it around here and shallow that off over the edges here so that I can get my fuel tank under there, because at the moment fuel tank doesn't fit directly under there very well. So that I want to alter so I can get the fuel tank in. Battery goes the other side. Wiring's already in there for that, but some of it might need changing. There's some battery cables, bits and pieces are okay. All the rest of the wiring I've pretty much ripped out, except for the ones to the bilge pump, which again will probably be replaced anyway. And I want to sort out the floor of the hull inside here, because under here there's all ribs and that catch all the muck, and everything sits in it, and you end up with, you can see down there's water sitting in there. So you get the water sitting in there because of the ribs. So I want it so that just runs off smoothly. So that all the water runs into the centre, and I can make like a little well in the bottom for me bilge pump, and that way I can pump all the water out and it doesn't sit under the floor, which in turn rots your deck. It gets all fungus, mouldy crud growing on the bottom, and it's horrible. We don't want that. So that's plans for out here. So yeah, just a quick overview of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, really. As we know before from previous ones, the deck coring was rotten. It was full of water, absolutely sodden, so that had to go. So that's all been done and glassed over now. I've got a lot of finishing to do, trimming and sanding, and yeah, loads to do there still, but it's all glassed up at least, so it's not going anywhere now. It's all solid, nice thick layer of glass on that weave, so that's not going anywhere. I have got a little bit to finish around the hatch where the weave didn't quite conform. It was a little bit heavy to conform around there, so I'll grind that out, put in some CSM and maybe some of the lighter weave stuff that I bought the other week. We'll see how that conforms. That should be a lot better. That will wrap around the edges better and give it some strength. And that's obviously going to then be cut out for my hatch to go in there. I'm still debating when I put the hatch in. I mean, I can cut it out, I can nut and bolt it through there. Or what I was wondering is if I was to core that around the edges with a bit of hardwood, glass that in, fix that in. Means altering it again slightly, but if I was to put in some sort of coring around the edge, I could put the hatch in and then I could screw into the coring. So that's another option, but yeah, I don't want to keep adding too much weight to the underside of the deck. The more weight I get up the top, the more unstable the thing will be. So then we've got to sort the floor out. Anyway, that's enough waffling. Let's get on with some work.